Good morning. I'm Rev Myron. I'm a minister through Pathways of Light, and I've been a Course in Miracles student for 40 years. Um, I'm going through the lessons this year, asking Jesus for clarity. And from that clarity, I'm writing down what comes to me. I'm going to share that with you today. And so let's get started. Looking at lesson 87. Our review today will cover these ideas. Paragraph 1, I will there be light. I will use the power of my will today. It is not my will to grope about in darkness, fearful of shadows and afraid of things unseen and unreal. Light shall be my guide today. I will follow it where it leads me, and I will look only on what it shows me. This day, I will experience a peace of true perception. Paragraph 2, these forms of this idea will be helpful for specific applications. This cannot hide the light I will to see. You stand with me in light, and there we add a name. In the light, this will look different. It can be very difficult to hold on to the truth when all of the body's senses tell us the opposite. For instance, when someone is in pain or very sick, the body is compelling evidence of its reality. Or if someone who is deeply loved is sick or suffering in some way, this illusion draws our attention. I think about a movie and how hard it is to walk away before I see how it ends. And that is just a movie that we see and hear. The world was made up. Sorry. The world we made up involves all the senses and all emotions. But no matter how good a movie is, it is still just a movie. And no matter how real the world feels, it does not exist. We are safe in God where we have always been. The only thing that is happening is that we are struggling to wake up from a dream, maybe a nightmare. A Course in Miracles is helping us to awaken from this deep and long sleep. The light streaming through the window helps the body to wake up from the night sleep. The light in the mind helps us to wake up from our dream of separation. I'm going to use these specific applications today to keep me on the path home. The light in my mind will show me another way to see whatever concerns me. Paragraph 3, there is no will but God's. I am safe today because there is no will but God's. I can become afraid only when I believe there is another will. I try to attack only when I am afraid. And only when I try to attack can I believe that my eternal safety is threatened. Today, I recognize that all this has not occurred. I am safe because there is no will but God's. Paragraph 4. These are some useful forms of this idea for specific applications. Let me perceive this in accordance with the will of God. It is God's will you are his son, and you put a name in there, and mine as well. This is part of God's will for me, however I may see it. When we are caught up in our stories and we feel afraid, the tendency is to attack. This is because our attention is too focused on the world. We naturally do not feel safe in that case. Our solution when operating from the ego perspective is to find someone to blame, somewhere to project. I've noticed that even in a situation when someone we love is sick or suffering, this can happen. When my sister-in-law was suffering from COPD, I was afraid for her. In my fear for her, I lashed out finding her guilty of past behaviors that brought this on. I didn't say it, thank the Lord, but I thought it. This was an attack born of fear. I was able to look at it with the Holy Spirit, recognize that it was just fear, and release those thoughts. It was a learning opportunity for me. I can still project, but I know what's going on, and I know that judgment and attack are not what I want. I can see that the energy behind these thoughts is fear, and I don't want fear in my mind, nor do I want to strengthen fear in the mind as a whole, which I would be doing. I remind myself that all thought produces form at some level. What I do want to remember always is that it is God's will that I am his son, and it is my will as well. It is God's will that we're all his sons, and in spite of our stories, it is our will too. God's will for us is not suffering, but happiness. Thus, this is what the world cannot be his will, obviously, since happiness is his will. What is not God's will does not exist and cannot happen. If we suffer, it's something that we've done to ourselves. Even so, we remain perfectly safe in God. Today, I will focus my mind on perceiving according to God's will. This is my prayer and my deepest desire. Thank you for sharing this lesson with me today. And thanks for watching my video. And if you found it helpful, please like it. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. And I'll be back tomorrow with another lesson.